The average home run in Major League Baseball lands over the wall, but notice how I said average. Occasionally, the bat contacts the ball in such a way that the runner can round the bases without even clearing the fence, otherwise known as an inside the park home run. Typically, this takes some combination of runner speed and precision placement, but every so often, something glorious happens. A Little League home run. Little League home runs are not exactly skill-based, they're lack of skill-based. When one or multiple defenders fumble the bag so hard, they will a home run into existence. Although quite rare, they are a sight to behold, and you're about to see some of the greatest ones that have ever graced the sport of baseball. On September 5th, 2015, Xander Bogaerts stepped up to the plate with the bases loaded in a 3-run lead, then proceeded to drive a hanging curveball to the right field corner for an easy 3 runs batted in. The ball was relayed to the second baseman, then to the catcher, but it bounced off Carlos Ruiz and absolutely bamboozled him. Fortunately, the pitcher reacted fast, but the catcher wasn't expecting Xander Bogaerts to have a slide for the ages. Just watch and admire it for all its glory, and trust me, this defensive error was quite tame. It only goes downhill from here. Unfortunately for the Red Sox, they were also on the receiving end of a Little League Grand Slam. It was a 6-0 game with the bases loaded in the 3rd inning, but after Raimel Tapia just got under one for an easy 3rd out, he had to take the jog of shame and think about what could have been. Unbeknownst to him, however, the center fielder missed his mark by about 100 feet, and now he was the one who had to do the walk of shame. Tapia, remembering that he was fast, dusted the wheels, got him spinning, and rounded the bases with plenty of time to spare. To rub some salt in the wound, the Jays went on to win this game 28-5. That brings me to 2019 Ji-Man Choi, who rocked a sprint speed in the bottom 22nd percentile of baseball, but he probably could have jogged around the bases for this hit. It all started when he drove this ball into the outfield for what appeared to be an RBI single. For whatever reason, the left fielder thought he could outgun the runner on second, but after the throw was beaten by a mile, the catcher drove one into deep right center. Immediately, the big man turned on the wheels, rounded the bases, and finished off with a buttery smooth slide. One issue: Choi wasn't used to running that much, so after the adrenaline wore off, his teammates cooled him off and helped pump his heart, a noble act. Tommy John also committed a noble act on this play when he practically forced the batter around the bases. It all started with a slow grounder, and after a bobble and a bad throw, the right fielder came in for the rescue and sent a cannonball to the catcher that Tommy decided to cut off and send off target. Since the ball was sent out of play, the runner was sent home, and Tommy John started questioning his life choices. It's not every day that you see a man commit 3 errors in one play. Maybe the guy just needed more surgery, who knows? As a matter of fact, I don't think anybody quite knows what goes through a player's head when they single-handedly hold the door open for the runner to round the bases. The key is to always be the runner in this situation. Just ask Mike Moustakas, who hit a shallow blooper that probably could have been caught. Unfortunately, after it wasn't, the damage was done, or so he thought, because I'm pretty sure the left fielder thought he was a quarterback trying to stop the clock. But as the reality of the situation hit, the center fielder didn't even attempt to throw home. For a bit, this right here was the loneliest man on earth. You really gotta feel for the guy. Hey, at least sometimes the defender doesn't have to be alone in their pain. This drive off Carlos Correa's bat should have been an easy out, but on that day, both Yankees outfielders wanted to be polite and give the other person the catch. As Brett Gardner was trying to recover from this blunder, he accidentally kicked the ball back to the wall, allowing Correa to easily round the bases. Now there's no denying that both defenders are at fault here, but should we ever have sympathy for the defender? On this play, Seth Smith drove one to shallow center, and after fielding it cleanly, the center fielder sent a bullet to third base. Unfortunately, it was a bit off target, but it bounced back in a way where the runner couldn't advance to home. On this day, however, the pitcher was going for the knockout blow, but forgot the batter was wearing a helmet. This allowed Seth to round the bases as the defenders stared hopelessly at their misfortune. Perhaps this was just a case of the pitcher being too accurate, but a more common sight is the complete opposite situation. That's precisely what happened when Cesar Hernandez laid down a bunt and was given some free extra bases with a low throw from the pitcher. As Steven Souza Jr. approached the ball from right field, he made sure everybody knew he had a cannon of an arm. Maybe next time he shouldn't have sent a high fly ball deep over the defender's head when he was on defense, but you really gotta appreciate the effort. At least Souza Jr. was luckier than most, since he got a chance at redemption. In June of 2015, with rain pouring down, he sent a bunt to the left side, and the throw from the pitcher was high. Since the runner on first was rounding the bases, the right fielder, Bryce Harper, prioritized the out at home, but his throw was wildly off target, allowing both runs to score. Sometimes baseball just has a funny way of rewarding awful defense with even awfuler defense. But that being said, it gets worse, so prepare your eyes for some of the awfulest defense I've ever seen. It all started on a drive up the middle by Christian Pache. Randy Arozarena went for the slide grab, but ended up kicking the ball away, and Kevin Kiermaier, the center fielder, failed to pick up the ball with his glove, allowing Pache to easily round the bases and for the A's to take a 3-0 lead over the Rays. The look on the outfielders' faces speaks volumes. They just allowed one of the worst hitters throughout the 2022 season to round the bases on a double error, and they weren't gonna live that down too easily. Now, needless to say, Christian Pache isn't exactly known for his home runs, but Miguel Cabrera is, and at the peak of his dominance, he hit a deep drive to about 2 feet in front of the plate. The ball bounced off the pitcher's glove, and he threw it away. To rub salt in the wound, the ball died on the tarp, forcing the catcher to make first contact and allowing known speedster Miguel Cabrera to easily advance to third. Then after another errant throw, he jogged his way down to home. Alright, we're nearing the end, and if you thought you've seen the worst of it, you're in for a bit of a surprise. It was the Astros versus the Athletics, with Marcus Semien at the plate. This slow grounder to short seemed like it would be an easy out, but Alex Bregman's throw missed the target completely, putting the ball in absolute no man's land. After the right fielder made the trek, he threw the ball to the plate, but it was cut off and sent to third in an attempt to outgun Semien. If you've been watching this video, you probably already know what's about to happen. Yep, 2 bad throws in the span of 15 seconds. But hey, at least it happened in the first inning with plenty of time to recover from this blunder. That brings me to Michael A. Taylor up with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. And look at that, a solid base hit. Yoenis Cespedes, however, had other plans and chose to completely miss the ball, allowing every single run to score for a Little League grand slam that'll replay in his head for the next 12 years. Surely, it can't get worse than that, right? Well, I wouldn't be building up to this if it didn't, but first, I'd like to give some honorable mentions. This is Joe Adell. He can hit a baseball pretty damn hard, but another one of his talents is shitting the bed on defense.
Wow! And he just put it right over the fence!
You know, it's almost difficult to not bring up Jose Canseco after seeing a play like that, so just admire the gift that keeps on giving. Lastly, this wasn't an inside the park home run, but it's too good not to include. Miguel Cabrera was up to the plate with a full count, and upon throwing the pitch that was called a ball, the runner on first took off. The throw from the catcher was ever so slightly off target. The center fielder sent a bad throw to the infield, and to top it off, the pitcher appeared to be doing his best Tommy John impression. It's not every day that you see this turn into this on a simple walk. That being said, enter Josh Harrison to the scene. It was the bottom of the 9th, tied at 2, and he drove one deep to right center field. Unfortunately, the center fielder couldn't quite make the grab. The relay to the shortstop was solid, but the throw to third hit Harrison on the fly and bounced into the dugout. Just like that, it was game over.
Josh Harrison has done it again, and the Pirates walk off winners tonight.
The Pirates walked it off on a Little League home run. And as painful as this was for the pitcher, there's no denying that this is a highlight in baseball history. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this collection of atrocious defense as much as I have. Be sure to smash the buttons if you did.